Welcome back again in this series where we're looking at this ISP industry evolution in the UK. So let's now jump into some of the vendors in terms of technologies that have been playing a big part in the service providers over the years. So let's first of all take a look at Juniper. We all know that the Juniper has been the sort of the giant of service providers industry, and as a network professional, there is no place that we have not seen a Juniper MX as a flagship in the ISP industry, and that's their been Juniper has been the core of service providers, whether it's in as a BRAS, as a BNG, or access or core. So if we look at the top end of MX 2010 2020, they are used in the core. So we have then the Metro Ethernet ranges, and the Junos OS has been the forefront of technology, starting from its the first implementation of separation of control and forwarding plane, really, and the control plane functions and packet forwarding on line cards. These are the evolution of these works are actually started in Juniper networks, and Junos OS has been the key to that. So one of the major benefit of Junos OS is the unified operating system, where you have just one OS across the whole of the brands of Juniper, and therefore Juniper has been, just because of its power of ASICs, has been at the forefront of ISP market. Now let's take a look at Cisco. Cisco has been part of the major part in enterprise, but in service providers is been significantly active in the access aggregation network. So we have the NCS product for the core. We have ASR 9Ks. They are used as a BNG and also in the core as well in the smaller ISPs. ASR 1Ks have been Edge and LNS, and obviously CBR8. I think one of the only few providers available in the world. Cisco is CBR8 as a cable operator. So Virgin Media is one of the UK provider is actively using CBR8. In terms of iOS, obviously transition happens from the iOS legacy iOS to iOS XE to iOS XR. So XR has been a really a breath of fresh air in the market, and sort of being head to head with Junos OS in terms of functions and modularity, etc. So yes, iOS XR is been in the service provider industry has been Cisco's success in recent years. Other providers that we see in terms of technologies, the Nokia 7750 multi-service platform has been used in large-scale world's ISPs around the world. And Sienna has been obviously an Infinera. They've been the main part of the DWDM and layer one. Obviously, there is a Huawei has a big place in the optical and MSN market, and finally Ericsson SSR 8K is also been a major part of service provider network. So just these are the main hardware vendors being active in the service provider market over the years. Let's take a look at so looking at how the industry is progressing. What we see is access technologies moving towards FTTP via GPON. So we've seen the emergence of bigger players like City Fiber and KCOM of Hull, GigaClear and Community Fiber. That's the FTTP revolution subsidized by the UK government, where we are trying to connect our towns and cities using a fast speed internet in next 5 years. Then and the parallel on the LTE mobile side, the high-speed fixed wireless access, which is a 5G, known as 5G, is active, and we've seen the rollout of 5G in the major cities. On the other side, we see through the evolution, the SDN is now an automation and IoT is major part of the ISP industry. nowadays, and IPv6 transition is happening quite rapidly in last few years. And if we look at the direction towards future, where we going in terms of SDN and automation, and that's the major work is been happening. That basically the SDN on the Juniper side has been the SD-WAN through the Juniper Contrail um, um, portfolio. VMX, VSRX, and virtual RRs have been Juniper's part of portfolio for the NFV functions. The idea of cloud-based PNGs have been trialed by some of the providers along with Juniper. As I said, Contrail has been the flagship for the Juniper's SDN networks, the likes of HealthBot and etc. And Juniper Mist in terms of their Wi-Fi network that has been acquired a couple of years ago. Cisco, in a way, has been way ahead of the market in SD-WAN and SD access, where Cisco the SD-WAN is one of the leading products since the acquisition of Webtela, and it's been widely used in the enterprise and service provider market. Software-defined access is really been Cisco is the only provider right now that is has demonstrated in the last 2 to 3 years to provide a software-based DNA-based access that is based on a DNA center. We know that Cisco's Nexus and ACI and application-centric infrastructure has been around for many years. That's also part of Cisco SDN portfolio. So that has been at the forefront of the market over the last 5 years. Nexus range has a significant success, to be honest, in last few years. So that's still a part of parcel of data center and along with the application center infrastructure. The other providers that come in being present in the SDN, obviously VMware with its Velo Cloud and famous NSX. With the public cloud, we're seeing emergence of AWS and Azure, and that's been, obviously one of the AWS has been the biggest public cloud provider, along with now a experimentation and emergence of OpenStack clouds, where a lot of enterprises and service providers are looking to enhance the OpenStack's functionality to look at the open networking for that and that side. In terms of future, I think the one of the major thing has emerged in the service provider bandwidth is a demand for growth in bandwidth, and the bandwidth consumption has been, it's been growing in last 15 years, but the exponential growth since the COVID epidemic and the recent content-rich media revolution over the last 4 years has been amazing, and it's been sharply going up, and that's one of the biggest challenge of ISP industry. And therefore, we're going towards the CDN networks to and using some of the oversubscription models to deal with the growth for demand in service provided industry. The other revolution that's been happening is the SDN and cloud-centric area that ISPs have been going in, and automation is also been a part of most ISPs now in last few years. And ultimately, how I see the ISP future is going towards IoT, IPv6, and big data, and eventually machine learning will be the big part of service providers as the data center and ISP space will very closely merge in coming years. I hope this brief history and sort of a run through the evolution has helped you guys, and thank you very much for watching the video, and I look forward to see you in one of my next video.